All right. Okay. All right, can you hear me? My headset's on or not? Not really. Can someone speak? I need to hear my headsets are connected or not yet.
I can hear you.
Yeah, but they're not through the headset, so let me my headset connected. Let's see if that works. Ah. Okay. Oh. Disaster. My ears are okay. Can someone speak again to see if
Yeah, I
there you
can
go.
hear.
Good. I'm hearing you through a speaker now. All right. Okay, let me let everyone in again. Thank you for your patience.
I hope it finished and you're not missing out.
Actually, it's not finished, but see, I happen to have a last name that starts with M, but my son has his name and my husband's hyphenated, and he's a B. Plus, he was distinguished on whatever. So he and a small group got talked about first, and then now they're still going on and on and on with all the different awards, but I made it to everything they said about my son, so I'm all excited. Of course, we embarrassed him tremendously by being in the Zoom with him. It's like, your parents shouldn't be on the Zoom. You know, you always manage to embarrass your kids no matter what you do. Other than that, it was great. So cool to have. It's like we all know how awesome our kids are in our own ways, but it's also nice when other people recognize it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just a moment of filling out your shirt with pride and continuing with real life, which I am always talking about my kids in my class. You will see sometimes I use them for our projects. When they were babies, they're in a baby card. You know, I got to use the images I have, and many times it is my kids. So, especially in Photoshop, I tend to use them as samples to fix photos and stuff. So I end up saying things about them, but I have rarely had to interrupt to talk about an award or something. So rarely, ever. So anyway, thank you guys. I'm still letting people in. That's why I'm kind of chit-chatting a little bit. Tell me, meanwhile, how did it go with the videos and the connection? Were you able to connect to the folder in the Google Docs?
Yes.
The files are there for you guys? Oh, okay, that's the best news, because I was so worried you'd have the same problem that the first class people had, where the folder wasn't showing up. Okay, so hopefully everyone will come back who was here before. I didn't count how many people we had at the beginning, but I do know that some people had to bow out, so I'm hiding that. Okay, all right. So I don't know why it says join a meeting, but okay. Okay. So I'm going to open the chat again. The chat right now started again, so the links aren't there, but that's okay, because supposedly the links were here for you to use them and for me to talk at you in the video. Okay, so now a bit of a show of hands again, so that I can remember who is who, like who has VDI. So go to the reactions to the emoticons and give me a raised hand, because the raised hand stays. The clapping and the thumbs up kind of disappears. So I want a raised hand for people who are going to use VDI, meaning they do not own the programs themselves. So you will connect through the school VDI. And green check mark yes for people who own their own applications and will have downloaded the files on their own computers. So that's the green yes check mark. Okay, and so now I really need you guys to choose one or the other. And if you can't, because the emoticons aren't there, I'll show you how to get to them, or if you haven't used them yet, so that I can see who's where. So for those of you who have not yet updated your Zoom, it's possible that you're not seeing the reactions option in the Zoom bar. But if you do see, if you have updated your Zoom, then go down where it says, stop video participants. And on the far right, if the window is small, you might see them under the 3 dots that say more. And if you have an older Zoom, then you might see them under participants. So for those of you who don't see the emoticon reactions icon, then go ahead and turn on your participants. Click on the participant button at the very bottom of the participants. Then there you'll see the raise hands and things like that. Okay, so now if you haven't yet chosen one or the other, Johnny and Carol and Emma, people who haven't yet chosen one or the other, please raise your hand if you have the programs, and if you're doing VDI, and say yes if you are, yes if you have your own programs. Okay, so Greg, hi everyone. Thanks for showing up again and for waiting it out. Well, I had to go out and spend a little bit of time being all proud and all of that. I'm having some people who aren't answering yet. So I'm not sure if it's because you can't reach the icons, because I want to do a screenshot so that I'm aware of who's who. So Carol, okay, Jenny and Greg and Megan. If you're not answering because you don't find the icons, then write it in the chat. Okay, so Jenny, it's VDI. I can't screenshot that. Okay. Greg and Megan, have you written it? No. Okay, so when you write to me in the chat, when it's a personal issue, like I'm not feeling well, something like I'm gonna have to leave, go ahead and write to just me. But if you're writing things that have to do with the class, that everyone needs to know why I'm answering what I'm answering, then ask the question and direct it to everyone so everyone sees what the question's coming up. All right, thank you. Now let me do a screenshot since I have most of you guys answering. There we go. That helps me later keep track. So basically it's almost half and half. So for those of you who own the programs, were you successful downloading the files? And if you were not, then speak to me. So first I'm just talking to the people who have the programs. Were you able to successfully download the files? And if you were, that's fine. If you were not, this is the time to speak up and say, well, not me, just to see.
I was late, but I'll check right now if I can download them. Okay,
great. Now, for those of you who do not own the programs, the option is A, to get VDI, and B, to buy the programs yourselves. And to buy the programs yourselves as students, I'm not going to say it's really cheap as if this money was nothing, but if you were not be a student, you'd be paying $50 a month. That's real money. But since you are students, you can get it for $80 for a whole year or $40 for 6 months. So that in comparison to $50 a month is really cheap. That said, if $40 for 6 months or $80 for a year is still too much, you can keep using them through VDI as long as you're a student, and you get to keep your student status as long as you are taking any of these free non-credit classes. You stay in your status as a student at City College. So there's no need for you to ever purchase any of these programs. It's more of a hassle to use them through VDI, but versus paying whatever you need to pay, right? So it's your choice. Now I'm going to show you, if you do want to buy them, where to go. So I'm going to, hold on, here we go. Share my screen. And if you do want to buy the applications, you need to go, and I'm going to write it here in the chat, which always tries to correct it from me because it wants me to book a space, and I always have to fix it, collegebuys.org. So I wrote there collegebuys.org in the chat, collegebuys.org. I'm now showing you up here. And on collegebuys.org, you have to say that you're a college student, of course, but the only way to certify that you're a college student is you have to buy this using your Pipeline account. You can't use your personal account, your Gmail or whatever. So over here you would go, it's a consortium of for California community college students. It's giving you this price and you have to be an active student. So you go to for students and it says shop now. You shop for whatever you want to shop after telling them what college you go to. So you have to kind of jump through those hoops. First, they didn't ask you what college. Then you get to these prices, which are ridiculously cheap, in comparison. And there's other stuff they sell, so keep an eye on this. But right now, what we need is the Adobe Creative Cloud, which would be otherwise $600 a year. So you click on that, and I'm putting you through these steps because it isn't as typical. Like you don't go to Adobe and buy the program because they have a student price. That student price is $19.99 a month or $29.99 a month, depending on what you choose. So it's still much more expensive. This is the only way to get it for this price. You select your Santa Barbara City College here. Otherwise you won't. And then once you do all that, then here you choose to buy it, and you can buy it for 6 months or for 12 months, right? So for 6 months it's $39.99, or for 12 months it's $80. And then here, enter the required edu email address. So this is where you need to write your whole, username at pipeline.sbcc.edu. So I'm putting that in the chat. So some of you people who have been, who are credit students, whatever, you're accustomed that you use this a lot, but a lot of non-credit students are not so accustomed and don't know that their username followed by this is their school email. So at pipeline.sbcc.edu, that's your entire email address that would have to go in here on the on this place. Let me put the little spotlight on my mouse. My mouse is a bit easier to follow now. So over here, you would write that, you would you pay it, and then in here we're accustomed to instant gratification, not here. It might be that they send you an email immediately, but they will send it to your Pipeline account. So check your Pipeline accounts, or it might take 2 business days. And so maybe you bought it on Thursday and suddenly you're not getting it till Monday or Tuesday and you're wondering what's wrong. It's just that they have to go through a whole process of verifying that you're a student. So it's not like instant pay and get it, okay? So you pay, they send you an email to Pipeline with instructions on how to download it, which again is not going to adobe.com and downloading. You just follow their instructions and set it up the way they set it up. And then there you go. That's how you get the cheap price. Now it's exactly the same material. You get nothing less than anyone else who paid the full price. It's the full set of applications. So what does this mean? If you get the Adobe Creative Cloud, the full set of applications is like 20 applications for your computer, plus another 20 or 25 mobile applications, plus you get space on the Adobe Cloud to put your files, and there's this whole libraries that you can use where you transfer things from one program to another. And so it's way beyond just the application. But hear this, you get to install it twice. It's in 2 computers. So maybe you have one at home, one at work, or maybe you have another situation where you can, borrow. Maybe 2 people who know each other who are friends can get it. I'm not really saying this officially, but you could get it with someone else. And then each one puts it in one computer. It can be Mac or PC. It doesn't matter. But you can't put it on a 3rd computer. Only two downloads are possible. And I believe, I'm not sure that they don't let you use 2 at once. That would be the only hitch, that if you see it working on one, they don't let you on another. But I don't think that's true. I think that you can use both at the same time. Anyway, cool. All right, Johnny, I'm glad to see that you're going to install it. You had mentioned it's slow. If it can be installed on a Mac and a PC, from one subscription, one on a Mac, one on a PC. Okay, so did I Did I forget any questions? I think I've answered all the questions on the chat. Anyway, so that's how you get a really good deal. Now you have to keep your student status live, but not constant. It's not like you have to constantly be a student. If you've taken one class, this class, and you take it in spring or in fall, then you're considered a student for the entire year. The only class that doesn't count is the summer classes, which are in this one. As in, if you take a summer class and then you skip spring, by the fall, you need to reapply, which is fine. Just take another free non-credit class. You know what I mean? So it's like a big hoop, but it's the summer is the only one that doesn't give you a year's worth of it only gives you till the end of that school year. And then in the fall, you have to take a class, or in the spring to qualify for another whole year, something about the whole school cycle and stuff like that. All right. But that's it. You don't need to keep taking classes. You can keep going to Pipeline using VDI, or you can keep buying things with your, like if you buy Mac computers with your Pipeline email, you get a pretty good student discount, right? So you can keep doing that as long as you're a student. All right. Now, I'm not urging you to buy this until you know you want it, because $40 or $80, if you don't know you want this, is still too much. So for those of you who don't have it, please use them. I'm going to be demoing the whole class on VDI. So I will be connecting to VDI, following the whole process and showing you everything on VDI, so that you don't have to, because that's the one that needs more explanation as to get there. And you might have noticed, those of you who connected to VDI, that I'm going to stop my share, and I actually have to open Chrome. That one thing that I mentioned was that it's better to access VDI using Chrome or Firefox. VDI is more stable if you use Chrome or Firefox. I don't know why, but it is. So I'm actually opening Firefox right now, and then I'll start sharing the process so that I can get there. So now, before I do that, I want to know, how's it gone with everyone else? Those of you who downloaded, you all said you were able to download the files. Those of you who got it on VDI, were you able to access VDI? Is anyone still like, I have no idea how to get there, it didn't work for me? Is anyone in that situation?
That would be me.
Okay, but Joyce, that's not you. Don't take it personally. That's your Pipeline account that isn't working.
Okay.
So we were kind of, when you emailed me and whatnot, I even emailed the IT department and said, yay, it worked. She said it worked because you said it worked, but it seems like it's not working. So I can't help you. You need to keep working with IT with that. So anyway, now when I share my screen at this part, you might just have to still watch and ask your questions. But if you can't actually practice, did you try VDI? VDI didn't work because it's your Pipeline account, right?
So I actually have access to Pipeline now. However, when I try to click those two links that you sent, it just says that I don't have access to like the Google accounts or something. So it looks like I don't have full access or something.
Okay, so
I can't,
let me do this. I'm going to
get
share.
there.
Yeah, let's see. Follow this procedure that I'm doing right now, which is to access VDI, and we'll see how much it really works or not based on whether VDI lets you in or not. That's really going to be the big question. Okay, so those of you who have your hands up who are going to use VDI, are you in right now? Like, did you connect to VDI? Are you set up? If you're not, let me know. Other than that, if not, I'll go fast. If not, if I can go slowly if someone needs a support. But if you're in, okay. So I'm going to start doing it. So the first thing we need to write is vmview.sbcc.edu. So I'm going to actually write that here in the chat again, because you could also probably just click on that chat link. I don't know if the chat link works. And then go there. And it's a problem because a lot of people try to write vmview or whatever, and then they hit the Google issue. So if you start writing vmview or whatever, and you go with any of these suggestions here, which are Google support suggestions, none of these will work. So never go down that little rabbit hole. Keep writing the entire thing out there at the top and then hit your return or enter. And that's the only way it's going to work. Okay. So that's the only key to that. And then again, if no one stops me and says that they haven't gotten in, I'll just kind of talk you through it, but I'll do it fast because I'm assuming that many of you are already there. So we're going to use this, this side, the right side, to access for class. But just so you know, I've been told by students that they have installed the VMware Horizon client. And when they do that, it seems to be more stable. So those of you who are using VDI, not right now, but who want to try it, like, you know, after hours, hit this side, install, you download the program, you open it up and you connect to the school that way. And I've heard anecdotally from students that it seems to work better. For class, I only use this one. I have a Mac and I have like 3 screens and stuff. And when I use the installed version, it kind of goes crazy. So it doesn't work for me. Okay, but that's just me. So, okay, username and password, log in, and then student desktop. Now, this is the part that takes a while. Johnny, you said it has taken a long time to load. Is this the part that's taking a long time for you?
Yep.
And it's still not there? You've mentioned it in the chat a few times. So this part takes a long time. I would recommend, if you have another browser, to back up. What browser are you using?
Firefox.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's not the issue. Because if you try it with like Edge or Windows Explorer, those kind of things, or even Safari, which is an awesome browser, mostly it's not a good idea.
I haven't tried Google, but
Chrome.
Just
since you're kind of stuck, not able to get in, you might want to try just disconnect. Because if you're stuck and you've been there for, I don't know how many minutes, like some things must be wrong, I think, at this point, right? So try another browser to see if you can clear it up or clean the cache or something like that. It does take a while. Now I'm saying that while I sit here and hoping that it will connect. Occasionally it has not connected, like in this year, maybe twice it has never connected. And then I have to stop. And as I said, open another browser and then it connects from the other browser. So again, that's just my workaround has always worked by connecting in a different way. I have never not connected. Now, we'll see if that happens to me this time because it's taking its good old time. Now, you might have noticed, you guys, that when you opened up, there it is, it's opening up. You open up into a Windows computer environment, okay? So how many of you guys here were really thrown by that? How many of you guys are Mac people? Okay, so I'm gonna clear all your feedback. Now, give me a yes if you're Mac, and give me a raised hand if you're a PC normally in your life. Yes for Mac, raised hand for PC. Yes, and raised hand. Okay, so once again, here we're working with the fact that everyone who's on VDI, while you're on VDI, you'll be using it as if you were a Windows user. So if you're a Mac user, that might get really confusing. You might be like, oh, how do I use Windows? So relax. Once you're inside the programs, there's no difference. So I just need to get you from this Windows screen, if you're a Mac person, to the applications. And then after that, you're fine. You're basically inside the environment where the programs for Mac and PC for Adobe programs are identical. The only difference is in shortcuts in the keyboard, you use a different key. Okay. So then how many of you guys are, of those of you who said that you are Mac, which is the ones who said yes. So I'm seeing only 3 yeses, but then I have people who aren't voting. And if you don't vote, I have to kind of guess. Oh, okay. Faye also. Vanessa, are you Mac or PC?
I'm a PC. Are you? Yeah. I'm
Okay.
Vanessa.
I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember the ad where people were like, are you a Mac or a PC? You know, the 2 guys who spoke at each other. I just said that question and I noticed that I'd never asked it that way. And suddenly I think I'm quoting an ad. All right. Carol, you're Mac, right? You're Mac. Okay. And Johnny?
Mac.
You're a Mac. Okay. So all you Mac people, when you are on VDI, you'll see the same thing I see and I'll tell you how to use it. But when you're a PC, when you're at home, you'll be using your Macs. So if now and then you have a question and I'm telling you how to access the file a bit differently, remind me that at home you're on a Mac, and I'll just, in my brain, I'll make the difference. I'm personally a Mac person, which is why to demo VDI, I'm actually demoing it on Mac, on the PC, because all my personal stuff is, all my personal computer is on a Mac, and I need to make sure that everyone who uses school computers knows how to use them. So anyway, the whole point I'm saying is just a keyboard difference. That's it. There's one only thing later when you do preferences for the programs that's on a different place, but once you get to the right place, it's the same stuff again. So there's virtually 99.9% of the program is identical, Mac or PC. And when you use a shortcut, I'll be telling you for the Mac, use this, and for the PC, use that. It's the same shortcut, but it's just one key that's different. So it'll be, it won't matter. Okay. Now, it's just accessing the programs that you need to know if you're a VDI person who's accustomed to a Mac, is how to open the applications. Now, I have a bunch of stuff here because I'm a teacher. You guys only have the recycling bin and Google Chrome on your VDI desktop. Okay. Oh, yay, it worked on Google. Cool. So see what happened just now? I'm on Firefox and it worked for me, but Johnny wasn't getting in. I said, well, try another browser. So he left Firefox and tried Google, and it's working. So it's not about which browser works. It's the fact that sometimes your computer hooks in with one and hooks in with another, right? So if you're at home and trying to work and it's not connecting, just change your browser, and that kind of seems to trigger the difference. All right. So next is, I told you I've been rushing through trying to kind of somehow make up by speaking faster the time, because I feel bad about having left you guys disconnect. I need to just stop worrying about that and relax, because otherwise I'm going to speak too fast to make sense and to really connect with you guys, because I feel like I'm talking at you. So I'm sorry about that. Here's the thing. The only thing that's a little bit tricky about VDI is accessing the files through the Google Drive file stream. So those of you who saw the video, I'm cleaning out your feedback right now. You watched the video, you connected. How many of you feel that, based on what you know, do you think you got connected to the Google Drive file stream? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, say no, give me a little red no, I don't know what she's talking about. And this is for VDI people, Okay. All right. So basically you have to get to the shared drive where all the files are through VDI. And so to do that, we need to access the Google Drive. So one thing you can do, so now let me put again the only problem with this demoing here is that when I demo and move my mouse around, it's hard to see sometimes. So I put this little tiny dot of light on it that's a zoom thing, and it kind of helps you see my mouse, my cursor moving around. I'm going to make my window a bit smaller so that it's a bit more akin to what you have. So that little round thing sometimes hides something I want you to click on, but for the most part, it helps you follow my mouse around. So now follow my mouse around to the very, very bottom, and you'll see this little icon. And so this is only for people who are on VDI. Everyone else, hang on a second. I just need to make sure they get, when you see this little icon, do you see a little Google Drive icon there? I need to clear your feedback so that I can hear you. You can also speak up. You don't need to just use little messages, but so Jenny, I'm trying to, did you answer no to not seeing that Google Drive? If you guys can speak, it's much easier than hoping me to have eyes on three things. Just say no or yes, as long as you don't have too much sound behind you. But if not, I understand some people don't have the sound working, in which case I'll keep looking at the chat. But so cannot access, Kathy can't access the Google shared files. Okay. So Kathy, where are you? Lost track of
I'm
Kathy.
here.
Oh,
I'm
there you go.
sorry.
Thank you.
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
No.
I think I just figured out why I didn't get this step right here with this little icon down at the bottom right. That's
Well, when you
probably-
first connect and you're not connected, it pops up as a, do you want to connect to Google Drive? Right? And it pops up as a big window. But if perchance you said no, then you have to connect a different way. So I was wondering if you got a window saying, do you want to connect to Google Drive? Did you get that? Perchance?
I don't, I may have, I got.
All right. It does
Yeah,
not matter.
but I don't think I did actually, but I don't know. If I
So
did, I
if-
didn't pay attention to it.
So when I click in here and click on this little Google Drive icon, notice that it already says DE Musakio Pipe. I'm like, I'm already connected, right? So if this is you and you're already connected, then that should work fine, as you should have the files.
Mm.
Let's go test that. So everyone click on that little icon, everyone who has it, click on this little tiny up arrow and then click on the Google Drive icon and then click on this little folder right there. And let's see if it opens this window and shows you the word Google Drive here. If you
Yes,
have that, then you do have the files. So now, if you don't have that, then I need to know. This is VDI, people. Now, those of you at home, what you should do now is just confirm that you downloaded the files correctly, that you moved them, if you left them in the downloads folder, or if you moved them, or if they were zipped, if you unzipped them. So I'm not sure if you're on a Mac or on a PC. On a Mac, unzips them automatically. PCs, you need to unzip them. So anyone at home who doesn't know how to access where their files are, let me know. Anyone here in VDI, if you did this and you got it, you're fine. If you didn't get this, then now's the time to speak up, because I can help everyone find their files. So
I'm still having an issue, but I think it's because of my pipeline issue. But I can log into VDI though.
you did log into VDI. Okay. So if you
Yes,
logged into
but I can't
VDI, your
access the Google
pipeline
Drive.
is.
It's like half working. It says I cannot sign in as my email address for Google Drive. So
So weird. So weird. But at least you're
Yeah,
on VDI,
I
so
don't
you
know.
can open the applications. So we're many steps
Mhm.
ahead than we were this morning.
yeah, I know.
So
Thank
we're
you.
good. We're getting there. All right. So okay. So remember that everyone who's home, I asked you guys to download Bridge in case you didn't have Bridge. So let's start talking about, so let me just confirm. Does everyone see Google Drive files? Now this is me for VDI asking you to go to Google Drive. You guys at home, go to wherever your Mac or PC put your computers and then go open them. So for Google Drive, what we're going to do is we're going to go to shared drives, click here first on the left on Google Drive, then double click on shared drives. And then here you will have only one folder here that says Digital Design Techniques. These are all the classes I teach. And so I have a bunch, but you should only have one unless you're in another one of my classes. You might have 2 or 3. Then double click on Digital Design Techniques. And here's a bunch of files that are the same ones that those of you who went to download the files, you were told to download this folder called Class Files Digital Design Techniques. Okay. And so if you did, when you double click on that, then these are the files that you downloaded. So now we're at the place where everyone should be at the same spot. We're at home. You should have these files downloaded onto your computer. And here on VDI, we are seeing these files here in this finder. Now, I'm going to explain why we're going to use Bridge and why this is not how we're going to access the files. But before I explain, I want to check in with you guys. Who does not have the files? Who is, and don't be embarrassed. Oh, I should have them. Everyone else seems to have them. This is the time to help. Whoever says I don't have them probably is going to help the 3 others who are hiding and not saying they don't have them. So does anyone not have them and I can give you a hand, or are you all totally fine? If you're fine, give me not a thumbs up. They disappeared. Give me a yes. I have the files no matter which way or another. I have the files except for Joyce.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Except for Joyce. I know Joyce is going to always be Isabella, you wrote, but do I need to download to my hard drive? Isabella, if you're using VDI, you do not need to download them to Power Drive. It's people who are using their own programs, download them into the hard drive. People who are using VDI, use them from the computer. So
Okay, I use
which one?
the iCloud, or I mean, sorry, not iCloud, Adobe Cloud, but my hard drive um
Is it too
is gonna be
small?
too full because
Yeah.
I'm photography and graphic design major, so I use external hard drives because my hard drives are too full to download everything to
Well,
my
you can
computer.
download them to an external drive. You know how to you can download into an external drive.
Okay.
When you say download, it automatically downloads the downloads folder. But if you kind of right click the download, it says where to, and you just point to your external drive. The whole point is the files are up on Google Drive are not accessible from Photoshop from Google Drive. You know what I mean? So maybe you don't need to download them all, definitely not today, but certainly you won't be able to access them unless they're on a computer. So if you do have an external drive that you have space in, put them there. And then after we use them, you can get rid of them. You know, none of this is permanent. You only have them for whatever, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. How long is our class? 6 weeks, I believe. No, not 6 weeks. Yeah, is it 6 weeks? I don't know. 4 to 6 weeks. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. But it just doesn't work otherwise. So the files aren't in the Adobe Cloud. If you want to download them and upload them to the Adobe Cloud and then get them off your hard drive, you know, whatever solution, but they need to come down from your Google Drive. The only plan B, and this is only if you know what I'm talking about, on your computer, you can also see your Google Drive. Are you a Mac or a PC person, Isabella?
Mac.
Okay, you can download a Google Drive shared file stream to your Mac and access the files, your school files directly that way and have them not be on your hard drive. That would be the only way that it would still work. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it, and it's a whole nother application that you probably don't have.
Well, this is only downloading as zipping as a zip file.
Yeah,
So-
once it finishes downloading, it'll decompress. It'll open up again when you click on that file. And so then it'll all be all the files. So what downloads is one zipped file. And then and it takes a while because these are a lot of files, and that's why, you know, we had an hour. And don't worry, we're fine right now, especially because Joyce can't get them. So I'm going to not maybe end up using many or any of these today. Well, we'll figure out and see what I can do. So you'll have 2 days to get them onto whatever drive is safe so that it doesn't overwhelm your computer. All right. Okay. All right. So now this is not how we're going to access the files, not on a Mac, nor on a PC. Okay. I didn't get a yes from everyone. I just want to make sure that there's no no's, that there's no person who doesn't have them other than Joyce. So if you have the files one way or another, VDI people have them here, home people have them on their downloads or wherever they place them. The only thing I recommend you never to place them on your desktop, because in your desktop, they use up computer resources and you don't want that. So now we can close this window because I'm not going to use this to access our files. Now, everyone, we're all in the same place. Doesn't matter where your files are, if you're on VDI or if you're on home. We've gone through the hard part. Thank you for doing that, mostly using the videos while I was gone. And now we get to start opening the applications. And the first one we're going to open is the Bridge application. I'm just noticing that I did a bit of an introduction to all of this before the last 2 people who showed up at the last minute. I think, was it Jenny and Greg who showed up at the last minute? So you guys didn't get like the placement of why and what you're going to learn. So I'll keep repeating it, but we're going to open Adobe Bridge first of all. So let me explain what Adobe Bridge is. First, let me tell you how to open them here. So on the bottom left of this computer where you see this little Windows icon, you can click on that Windows icon. And then over here, you have all of the computer applications that the school has. And at the very top, very easy, are all the Adobe ones. So we're going to click on Adobe Bridge to start with, which is up here, Adobe Bridge 2021. And We'll let that one open up and let me explain to you guys what Adobe, how many of you guys have used Adobe Bridge before?
Yes.
Yes, Vanessa,
Yes.
Carol. So Vanessa, you took the Illustrator class or the Photoshop class with me?
The Illustrator class.
The Illustrator class, thank you. Because they both ran on Fridays and I got confused about which one it was. Okay. All right. Anyone else who has not taken a class with me who's ever used Bridge? Because of all these things, it's the most unknown of probably. So, and this is, I always have someone who says, oh my God, I use it all the time. So I just wanted to see if there was anyone there. Okay. So here's the thing. On the very left side, once Bridge opens up, so this is how, oh, I forgot one thing that's really important. Before I already opened Bridge, but I want to launch into something. One thing I completely forgot to say. This pause Bridge, put it to one side, and there's something that I need to say before we get into the applications, which is how to handle this class where you're using your computer to see me do something and you're using that same computer to work on it. Okay. You might have already had a computer class, so you might already know how to do it. But for the most part, a lot of times the Zoom kind of fills your screen, especially when I'm sharing a screen. And you need to be able to move that to the side so at least half your screen is available. So if you have Zoom and it's expanded so that you can't use your own computer, the first thing you need to do is hit the escape key so that it's not full screen anymore. Now hit the escape key on your keyboard, which is the top left key. And once it's not full screen anymore, then you get to this place where it becomes just large, but you can grab the edges and wait until your mouse has a double arrow tip to it, and then scooch it in and make it occupy half your screen. Now that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario is that you have an iPad or another computer. Maybe you're on a desktop and you have an old laptop. If you have one computer with two monitors, so if you have any way of seeing the class in one computer or in the iPad, and then doing it on your computer, it might be easier for you because then you have your computer to work on and your iPad to watch me show you what to do. Does that make sense? Now, a lot of the times people are like, oh, of course, and they go and they run their second one. But a lot of the people don't have two of whatever. They only have one. By the way, any old thrift store that you go and buy any old monitor for 10 or 20 bucks, you can plug into your computer and then there you go. Your computer now has two monitors. If you have a laptop, you plug it in and there you go. Your computer is a laptop that now has a monitor. So that works also where you put me on one screen and you use the other one for Illustrator, Photoshop, stuff like that. So if you want help with that, let me know and I can give you some pointers on that. But the important thing is that you need to have a way to use, as I demonstrate stuff, you need to have your own bridge. So now I have this one bridge open, which is mine, and you should have yours open. And so on your screen, you should be seeing two bridges, yours and mine. You know what I mean? Yours that you just opened up that now I'm going to tell you how to make it look like mine, and mine that I'm demonstrating on. If this is confusing or if it's not working for someone or you need hand, this is pretty crucial. So please let me know. I've cleared your feedback from before, so that you can now tell me, no, it's not set up that way. Can you know, I need a hand. I can help you figure it out. Is everyone okay with that? You all have like the half screen or two screens? Okay. Since I haven't mentioned two screens yet, and I don't see anyone connected twice, I want to warn you because that's usually something I say at the beginning. And I forgot to say it this time, that if you connect with another screen, like one to watch and one to work on, both computers have to be connected to the class. You have to connect both times because on one class, on one, you're going to watch me, but on the other, you're going to work. And at some point you're going to get stuck and you're going to go, I don't know how to move forward, or I don't know how to do this, or it's not working for me, or mine looks different, whichever way. And then I'm going to say, okay, share your screen. Well, you can't share your screen on Zoom if you're not connected, okay? So at that point, you need to go and share the screen that you're connected in. If you've never shared your screen, I'll show you how to do it. That's not the issue. The issue is if you decide to go and grab your iPad or next class have 2 ways to connect, please connect to Zoom as you'll see 2 boxes here with your name. One will be the watching and one will be the working one. All right. Okay, so I had to say that. And if there's no questions, I'm going to move on with making your bridge look like my bridge. So first of all, that wasn't Mr. Hampton. Bridge is, hold on. Bridges, I'm going to maximize the issues. When you first open up these programs, sometimes they are kind of like floating small like this on a screen. And I'm trying to recreate, mine is already open, like that on a screen. Especially if you're on a Mac, you might be accustomed to having little floating windows. On a PC, sometimes it's a bit different. But when they show up like this, and then you open another program, then you have the other one behind it, and they all look very similar. And then you have Illustrator and InDesign, you have 2 open at the same time, plus Bridge. It becomes really confusing to know what it is that you need to do. So I highly recommend maximizing this window. And as we go through, you'll see why. And how you do that is you go here on the 3 little guys that are here. The middle one is maximize. Click on that and it'll fill your screen. And if you're on a PC, the only difference is one of those differences. If you're on a Mac, you have 3 little buttons here on the left side. You have a red, a green, and a yellow button. Click on the green button and the Mac, and that'll maximize your screen. So the easiest thing would be to maximize your screen, because once you have 3 of the same thing, you won't distinguish. Is this Photoshop? Am I in Illustrator? Am I in Bridge? What am I in? So this now allows us to go just to Bridge by going down here into the taskbar area, and you click on it, it disappears. You click on it, it shows up again. You click on it, disappears. It click on it, showed up again. And that's how we'll read it. It says BR, and then it'll say desktop or whatever it'll say. I happen to be in a folder called Jack's Pottery, but on the left side, we're going to click on this PC. So everyone click on this PC on the left side. Now, if you're on a Mac at home and you open Bridge, then instead of clicking on this PC, click on wherever you put your files. Maybe you put your files in your documents folder. Maybe you put them on your downloads folder. Click on downloads. Maybe you put them on your desktop. God forbid, that'll slow your computer, but maybe you put them on your desktop. So go find your files on the Mac wherever you put them. But for people on VDI, it'll be under this PC. And then here on the little icons that show up, find the one that says Google Drive. Okay, which in this case is the 3rd one in. Now it's possible that you are seeing things differently than me. So make sure over here that the word essentials is clicked. It could be that you have, I don't know why, some other thing. Maybe you have this click metadata and it's looking like that, or film strip and it's looking like that. I want you all to be on essentials so that it essentially looks like mine. And then the 3rd icon there, you double click on Google Drive. Now, this is for VDI people. Remember, if you're not on VDI, just click on wherever your files are. Now here on VDI, we're going to click on shared drives, double click on shared drives. And then here, and you should see the Digital Design Techniques folder. So I'm going to double click on the Digital Design Techniques folder. So we're doing the same thing we did before on a Finder, except we're doing it through Bridge. So it's beginning to show you what Bridge is all about, but now I'll explain to you why we use Bridge, which I haven't explained yet. So what we just got to here is to the class files that you either downloaded or that you're watching through VDI. Now, the first set of files that you're seeing are different handouts. For example, I have the same collegebuys.org things that I showed you in person. I have information about file types. I have information about raster and stuff like that. I have the 2 videos that I just told you to watch. I had linked to that you watched during the time I was in here, where those folders, et cetera, et cetera. Handouts, shortcuts. There's lots of different things here that I'm going to ask you at different points to access. But most importantly, at the very top, and this is thinking a lot right now, and it's stuck. It's working kind of slowly. An error occurred. Great. That's why it was working slowly. Okay, I'm going to not send a report. My bridge crashed for some fun reason. So let me open bridge again. And while it's opening again, let me explain what bridge is all about. So at the beginning of the class, I explained the scope of the class and what we're going to learn. I know a couple of you weren't there yet. Oh, you had to switch to VDI. Okay. I'm talking to Emma who wrote to me. All right, for now, that's fine. Later, you can download it and use it. Let me see. This PC, Google Drive, shared drives, digital design techniques, class files. So what I was trying to show you is that those are all handouts. And then you have class files, digital design techniques, this folder. Double click on that one. And that one gets you to here. And hopefully this is what you guys downloaded at home. Okay. Not all the rest of it necessarily, but this stuff, the class files. And let me see if I can roll up and down. Yeah. Okay. So these are the class files. Good. So this class, and I don't want to repeat myself, for those of you who came in late, please watch the first, half hour of the class where I kind of gave you a whole overview of what we're going to do. But basically in a short sentence, it's how to create a finished piece that's going to go either to be printed or how it's going to be published in some way or another on a screen. By a screen, I mean, it can be on a web page, it can be a PDF, it could be a print, it can be a high quality photo. Isabella mentioned she's doing photography classes, stuff like that. So whatever your final output is, unless it's pure photography, that's the only time when you might not need other programs. But for everything else that we do in the world of design, you need a combination of programs. And so in this program, in this class, I'm going to be teaching you kind of from A to Z of the process of getting something created. And it involves using a variety of programs. Mainly, we're going to focus on Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign as the programs we're going to use. Although if you're going to be doing websites, and I mean, there's all these other Adobe programs and movies and film and editing, but there's one thing that connects them all. And that is Bridge. The name Bridge is well named. It's a program which allows you to access your files. As you see, it kind of operated like the Finder or like the, the folder where you find your things. All we're doing is we're going to files. We don't have anything in it, but it gives you many more tools inside of Bridge. Bridge is an Adobe program. If you access a file that's a JPEG, it knows what to do with a JPEG. So scroll down a little bit here. And so here's a JPEG file, right? If you open a JPEG file ending with JPG from your regular computer, Windows Explorer, from your regular Finder, it opens up in some Mac like preview version, the preview file on a Mac. It opens up in like Windows Gallery or something like that on the Windows. JPEGs are files that get used for everything. That any place that anyone needs a photograph, it's saved as a JPEG. So you can put in a JPEG in a flyer and use it in Word, in Excel, in a website, in you name it. Any image, it comes out of the camera, it comes out as a JPEG. So JPEGs are ubiquitous, and the computer doesn't know what to do with it if you double click on a JPEG. It just doesn't know. So it just kind of gives you a little view. But if you're in Bridge and you double click on a JPEG, JPEG goes, oh, this is a file that's a photograph. It's a raster file. A raster file is an image file with millions of colors. Oh, the program to deal with this file must be Photoshop. So when you double click on a JPEG, what happens is Photoshop opens up. If you do that with this one or with this one or JPEGs, the same thing will happen because they're both, they're all JPEGs. As we keep going to the right, the next one is a .psd. A .psd is a Photoshop document. So a Photoshop document already would only open in Photoshop no matter where you opened it, because a .psd means Photoshop document. But a JPEG is so generic it wouldn't know. So all of these are going to open in Photoshop. INDD is the extension for InDesign. PNG, another one of those things that wouldn't know where to open. But if you are here in Bridge, it'll know to open in Photoshop. All the way down at the end here, I have one that's .ai, which is Adobe Illustrator. So these are all different files created in many different kinds of programs. And yet, when you open them from Bridge, Bridge knows what to do. So let's go to this one here. And Joyce, this is where if you don't have any of these files, just go ahead and open Photoshop. The rest of us, we're going to double click on this, just double click and see that what's going to happen is that Photoshop is going to start opening up. Okay, if you do it from in here. Now, Joyce, since you don't probably have a full photo file available for photos, just go to the Start program and just go over here and look for Adobe Photoshop and just open Adobe Photoshop on its own. Okay.
Okay. Okay. It's opening. Thank you.
All right. So now notice that while we were talking, Photoshop opened up down there. Okay. And it's opening up and it's doing its thing just because I click on that JPEG. So we're going to wait for it to, it was going to take whatever time it takes to open up, depending on the speed of your computer. It might already be open or it might be thinking its way through, but it opens up as a file already fully formed, so to say, and without anything and any other need to open. We just used Bridge as a way to figure out in a very visual manner what to open. Now this file opened in Photoshop, but I know nothing about this file, meaning I don't know how big, how small, how many pixels, what size, what is it good for? Is it good for web? Is it good for print? I know nothing about this file at this point. And instead of having to open up Photoshop, which took us all this time, to come in here, to then start going into the image file information and looking it up, we could have just known if this was the right file by using Bridge only. So it saves us a lot of time. Not every photo is useful for every purpose. A photo that might be good for web might definitely not be good to use for a brochure or for a poster, depending on how many pixels it has, how much information that file carries. So can you imagine if I spent all this time working in here and putting this into a little poster size and then discover that it was never meant to be more than a file for the web? I could have not wasted all that time had I used Bridge to find that out. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Head down here again. Oh, by the way, once again, if Photoshop opened up at this point, for most of you guys, it opened up also like a little floating program like that. If this is the first time you open it, or if it's the first time you open it in VDI, but even if you opened it at home, many times people have them floating, and see what I mean, where they float over one another. Not only that, but if now you click on this that's behind, then now you don't see Photoshop anymore and how you go to Photoshop. So people start doing this weird thing where they put a program where they have one over there and one over here, and they try to go from one to the next this way. And I know you guys, I've seen your screens. 90% of you guys are doing this in the background. And that is really wasteful of time and space, and you don't get to see your photo at its best space, and you're hiding one another. So trust me, just try it out for during class if you don't like it. Maximize each one of the programs. So when you maximize one, it's hiding the other one. And where do you find it? Down here. you click on Photoshop, maximize Photoshop. Now, if you're on a Mac, this is exactly the same, except for the down here part is your dock. So I'm going to change my screen here for a second, and I'm going to share with you guys my Mac for Mac people to see how this would work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm sharing this screen here with you guys, which is a Mac screen. Is this the one that you're seeing? Just want to make sure. You guys seeing a big island?
Yes.
Okay. So if I go over here to this, and oh, I hate when this, hold on. I have a little, my spotlight. When I change my screen, there we go. So if you head down to the bottom of your screen, you'll have your dock, which might be much smaller than mine or not. I have a lot of programs on my dock, but in this dock, you get to click on here and you'll just switch. Here I have Photoshop. This is the icon of what Photoshop looks like. This is the icon of what Bridge looks like. This is Adobe Illustrator. This is InDesign. This is the old InDesign, 2019. This is 2020. For some reason, I still have 2 installed on my computer. So you click and you might find them on the right side, on the left, depending where you are. But here on the dock, you just click on one to see Photoshop. When you need to see Bridge, you click on Bridge and it just pops up and they flip back and forth. But the programs are open up and fully fill in your screen each time. Okay. I can't demonstrate that for you right now because my computer can't handle right now opening VDI and opening my programs at the same time without kind of busting. So I'm back to showing you VDI right now, but use that dock for those of you who are on a Mac and use this taskbar, it's called on the PC, to switch from program to program. Okay. So now let's switch back to to Bridge and let's see what we can learn about that file that we just opened. So is everyone back in Bridge? So Jenny, if you can find any file anywhere, I think under this PC, sometimes they have sample files. Otherwise, just watch this piece. I don't know how to get you.
I am
There's
so
a pic-
lost.
Yeah, not Jenny. I'm sorry. I meant Joyce. Sorry. I know Jenny will help you, but Joyce is who I meant as far as not having a picture. If you go here to pictures, Joyce, you might find a picture or not. That said, I do want to go back to Jenny saying you are so lost. So tell me how,
Okay, so
where are you and how I can help you?
Well, I'm on 2 computers because I'm on the school Chromebook and my personal PC. So I'm on the Bridge right now, but all I see are, I don't see what you have. I have, it looks kind of where the essentials are, where it says library.
Okay.
Where do we go? That's where I got lost. I was trying to follow
Okay.
you. But
No, that's fine. So here's the thing, guys. And I'm going to make Jenny the guinea pig right now.
you can pick on me.
No, not pick on you. I'm going to show you something. If this is the perfect example, if Jenny explains something and it's a very obvious thing that I can easily go, oh, I know what's happening, do this, and one explanation works, then that's fine. But a lot of the times what's necessary is for her to show me, for me to really know what's happening. So all of you guys are going to end up sharing your screen so that I can see what's wrong. And then in a second, I take care of it or I walk you through it. So while you might think it takes longer to share your screen, it actually makes it much quicker because I instantly see your problem. I see what's wrong. I tell you what to do and we move on. So whenever you have a question, if I say share your screen, please don't tell me, oh, it's not such a big deal. Well, it is in the sense that otherwise you'd be lost. You know what I mean? So I'm going to stop my share, which takes 2 seconds. And I'm going to tell Jenny to share your screen. If you've never shared it, I can walk you through. Everyone.
No, let me just get to where I can do that.
So you guys, especially those of you who have never shared your screen, you do it once, I walk you through it. And then after that, it becomes second nature. And it's just so quick to just pop it up. And it's like, it takes even less time.
I'm sorry. It's
no. So everyone pay attention. There's 2 steps. The first one is you go down to your bar and you find the big old green button that says share screen, which is very obvious, right? It's a
there we
green
go.
button, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is once you do that, that's not enough. The second button is not so easy to find. So you first hear the big share screen button. Now what Jenny is seeing is a window, a white window with little boxes that show all the different things that she can share with me. Usually just clicking on your desktop is enough. And then there's another button, which you already clicked, which is a blue button that says share. And that's the light blue button. That's the one you need to share. Okay. So it's 2 steps. All right. So you shared your screen. You're in Essentials. Now, are you on your own computer or on VDI?
On VDI.
Okay, you're on VDI. So no, don't go there. Stay in Bridge. Okay, in Bridge. Okay, so go up to on the left side where it says you have your folder with your name there. Yeah, click on this PC. Okay, and now your third, kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever until you see Google Drive. It's like 5 or 6 in to the right. Keep going. Google Drive. Double click on Google Drive. Shared drives. Digital Design Techniques. This one takes a little bit, and then we'll get into the class files. So you just need to navigate your Bridge to whatever folder you're going to. Okay, so they take a little bit of time to download. And you thought that they were there under your name, but they're not. They're in the shared folder. Okay, so now the first folder called Class Files, Digital Design Techniques. Go ahead and double click on that one. And here you are.
Okay.
Okay, now on my screen, stay here because I want to show something on your screen. Your screen is showing an entire wide version of Bridge. I was showing it shorter because when I share my screen, but notice that she's seeing little tiny images and I was showing you big ones. So it's so easy to change that. Head down to see where your images are, head down, 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 down until you see like a little plus and a minus and like a triangle. No, keep going to where your photos were. Yeah. See
Right
that
here?
little, yeah, down now, head down, 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 down. Okay. Yeah. And
Right
now
here?
there you go. Yeah. Click on that plus or drag. Yeah. Not so big. Just click yeah. See how you can change the size. Usually it's just
okay.
a little bit of change. You can click, just drag it a little bit to the right or click the plus a few tabs. Now you're seeing the folders. You need to scroll down. It's okay. It's just that at the top, I have a bunch of folders. So there you go. Okay. So that's how you can make it bigger or smaller, you guys. So go find that little minus and plus or a slider. You can use it as a slider, as a minus and plus to see the files a bit bigger. Okay. So
Question. So
yeah.
this would be, because I do plan on getting the 1-year Adobe, but I'm gonna wait. So for now, if I don't want to download the files onto my storage,
Then you have to use VDI.
then I can just do VDI for now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because my laptop is not the best one right now. I'm trying to save to buy a new one. So.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know what I'm going to do? I've heard that 2 or 3 times. Well, 2 at least today. I'm going to see what I can do is if I can just put together. The thing is that in the past, I used to give people files to download for that day. But then that process took half an hour each time and it ate up half an hour of class versus people downloaded those days files.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have them all there and then we don't waste that time. But I understand also for people who have computers that don't have that much space that it does become a hassle to download all these files that we're not going to use, you know, today. We're going to use them over the next 6 weeks. So I'll figure out if I can do a plan B where you guys have to download the files that we're going to use the, you know, class the day before or something like that. This was my solution to not waste class time, but it does use up computer place. Okay. So now, thank you for showing that. By the way, one more thing. Click on that, just single click on that, on the top, the word top, the toy, the top, not the top as in up above, but the top. Yeah, it's a bad choice when I say click on that one. And you guys see that the moment she clicked on it, see on the far right, how, whoop, you double clicked. That's okay. You needed to open it anyway. You double clicked. And so it opened in Photoshop. Now get back to, whoa. Yeah, that arrow is dangerous. That arrow is not, click on, you're going to have to get back in. Be careful to not don't forget when you're in VDI, you can't use those arrows in the browser because they kick you out of VDI. It's not going to be too bad. You'll open it up and you'll be back in the same place. Yeah. But yeah,
And how do
those
I do
arrows are.
that?
So you're on,
Okay.
imagine that you're not on a browser, you're in a computer. So now go to the bottom of your screen where you see downloads and class files and new tab. You have a ton of stuff open. There's no need. No. Back out of there, back into the top. Yeah. And then just
Okay.
straight down where you see on the taskbar, you see the word, no, straight down, straight down. You see type search here. Next to it on the right, you see downloads, class
Okay.
files. Yeah, keep going to the right and there's bridge. So now click on that for bridge. Yeah, and then right next to it, you have Photoshop. So go to the right and click on Photoshop. And click one more to the right.
Mhm.
So right next to
Oh.
bridge where you clicked on class
Yeah.
files, click on that one for Photoshop. Everyone try to do this that I'm having her do. Switch back to bridge, like flip back and forth. That's how you flip from program to program. Got it?
Okay.
And on a Mac, you go to those icons that you have. And now she also opened Adobe InCopy right there that we don't need at all. So go to Adobe InCopy and close that. Yeah, because it's just one more thing that we certainly don't need right now.
Okay.
You don't need the class digital files nor the downloads. You don't need any of that. So if you get rid of it, it makes it much easier. There you go. Now you just have class files and Photoshop.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So now I'm going to stop your share. Thanks
Okay.
for
Thank you.
sharing your screen. You're welcome. And hopefully everyone, when I'm helping one person like that, I helped her a little bit at first, but then the rest was for everyone. I was showing everyone how to make things bigger, smaller, how to switch. Okay, so everyone has to be, doing it. Just because it's Jenny's screen doesn't mean that that's not something that you need to practice. All right, before I share my screen, any other questions about opening up both of your programs and stuff like that? No, no questions. Okay. Now, just so you know, and I'm looking at, hold on, I need to look at my time. This class technically finishes in 3 minutes, but it's supposed to finish at 8:15. But remember what I said, that to make up that hour that I took off, even though you guys were working still, I feel like I need to catch up. If you need to leave at 8:15, definitely that's when the class ends, please leave. But I'm going to teach an extra half hour. That extra half hour, you can try to watch. Well, I'll give you the choice. I can either teach an extra half hour today, and then you have to watch it tomorrow so that by Thursday you're caught up. Or I finish the class today, and then I teach an extra hour on Thursday, and then you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, no, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to watch it before Tuesday. I didn't think of that before. Or now to stay an extra hour until 9 or 9:15 on Thursday. So I guess I could give you guys that choice. How about I do this? Let me explain what the two choices are instead of just telling you out of the blue in the same day that you need to stay an extra half hour. Here's the thing. I can either do an extra half hour today and an extra half hour on Thursday to make up for that half hour that you guys missed, but then you'll have to catch up anyone who can't stay. So that's choice one, 2 extra half hours. Or on Thursday, I teach for an extra hour. We take a little break. I teach for an extra hour. Those of you who can stay with me, stay. And those of you who can't stay, then have 4 days to watch that extra hour until next Tuesday. That would be plan B. All right. So how about you guys vote? Raise your hands for staying 2 half hours today and Thursday, or say yes to on Thursday I teach 1 extra hour, and either you stay or you catch up over 4 days. You watch a video. So you need to vote either raise your hands for 2 half hours or yes for 1 hour on Thursday. That gives you more time to catch up. All right, everyone who hasn't voted, if you want to say. Okay, so yes means an hour on Thursday that you either stay and you're prepared for it and you've had dinner or something, and you then have more time to watch it if you can't stay. And then 1 hand means half and half. And then right now, unless, okay, I'm seeing 4 hands, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're winning by 1. Oh, and Jenny, you're saying plan A because you're not using a hand, and Carol's saying plan B, so that's still even. So right now, plan B is still winning, meaning I stay an hour on Thursday. And Faye is also saying that. So now you're 2 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so right now what's winning is that I do an extra hour on Thursday, and where you're more prepared for it, and or if not, and if you don't get to stay, you can watch that extra hour from Friday through to Monday. Does that make sense? All right. So it's been voted. So then I won't have you guys stay. And what I'll do is, let me only do one more thing, which is how do you access the recordings? Let me just show you how to access the recordings so that everyone knows how to do this, especially if you're on VDI. You probably didn't watch the second video, the video that everyone else watched. I'll send you a recording for a video, but let me just do it really quickly and show you. If you have a second, we'll do this today. Let's do these extra 5 minutes to show you how to get the recordings. Because we're a little bit tight, I'll also send you an email with a recording link. But the problem is that when I send an email with a recording link, half of you guys click on it from your personal emails and then you don't have access. So you need to click on the recording link from your pipeline, okay? So I'm gonna go to pipeline, sign in, sbcc.edu, sign into pipeline. So give me 5 more minutes, guys, and then you'll know. Oh, that's true. See, this is what Firefox does to me. It's a whole nother. Let me just really quickly show you that, and then we'll close up the applications. So I'm gonna go to the Google Chrome in here. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. You guys, this is on you. I've been saying things, do this, do that, and then I'm not sharing my screen. I don't notice always when I'm sharing your screen. So you guys need to tell me you're not sharing your screen.
Can people mute themselves, please? Because there's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, you know what? That's my family's fault. That background noise is because my family decided for some reason. Hold on. All right, that was after cleaning up, and I'm like, not until I'm done. Don't clean up anymore. All right. So thanks for pointing that out, because I have my headsets on, so you guys hear the dishes and I don't. Okay, so sbcc.edu. Pipeline. Click on pipeline. Sign in. I had already signed in, so that's why I'm in. Go to student or student non-credit. It might say either student or student non-credit. Whatever it says, it doesn't matter. The button right here will say either student or student non-credit. You click on that. If it says student non-credit, over here on the right, you'll see Google Drive. If it says student, you have to click on student resources, and then you're in this page. So it's just an extra little step. Student resources, and then you get to Google Drive. Then you click on Google Drive. Okay, verify it's me. Yes, it's me. And then you go to shared drive. So I am always taking you to Google Drive shared drives. That seems to be the norm, right? And then over here, you'll see the folder Digital Design Techniques, which is kind of the same one we just accessed. Double click. And here you will have at the very top every day, you will have Digital Design Techniques Zoom class recording links. You'll double click on that. And right here next to today's date, you will have a link that you'll click on and it'll take you to the video. Okay. And these are all the dates for our classes. And each time the class ends, it takes me like 6 hours between the whole thing has to download. I have to upload it to YouTube. I have to put closed caption on it so it to be accessible, and then it's accessible to you guys. So by tomorrow morning, you guys will have a link here to click on to watch the recording of today's class. Okay. Now I'll email you the instructions to do exactly what I just did. I'll email that to you, and I'll send you a video showing you how to access the class recordings. So that way you can watch them. Now, back to, we left you with Photoshop open and Bridge open. I was going to show you in Bridge and how to see the metadata. So I'm not going to do that right now, but just quickly in case you're curious, when you click on a file here, over here on the right side, it gives you a lot of information. And I'm going to teach you how to read all that metadata. But for now, let's close Bridge. Next time you open it, it'll know how to get here. You close it from this top right X, and or we're going to close Photoshop. Is going to ask us to save, and since we didn't do anything, it won't. Nothing will be needed to be done. Close Photoshop and close Bridge in this case, and then go ahead and you can just close the tab and be done with VDI, or for those of you who want to be a little bit neater, if you look here on the left side, it's hard to see, but there's like this little white tab, which you click on it, it opens this thing, and here you can log out from the student desktop and log out from VMware. Here you just say log off with the student desktop, and then from here you just log out straight from VDI, and you say okay. So for those of you at home, all you need to do, and then you're done, and you sit here and you're not connected anymore, and you're not using the system, and when you want to go in, you just go in again. Okay, so at home you don't need to close your programs. This is just for VDI people to not leave it all. It's much better, it works much better. And so look for an email from me. I'll email you the link to today's recording in case you don't remember how to get in, the link on how to get in. And for those of you who missed the first half hour, please watch everything I said that we're going to cover and what's the whole gist of the class. And there's much more than what I said, but just a little bit of an explanation of what we're going to cover. And if you have any questions, please ask me. Other than that, I conclude the class a little bit later than the time allotted. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. And you're going to learn a lot. We're going to cover a whole bunch of ground. Oh, one more thing. Oh, for those of you who are left, if anyone's interested in Illustrator or Photoshop, and you want to take the courses now this summer, I have a Photoshop Friday morning and an Illustrator Friday afternoon starting this Friday. The Photoshop class, if you try to sign in, is full, but if you are in this class and you want to take Photoshop, I can let you in. I can add you to the waiting list, but you need to email me directly and I can help you do that. The Illustrator file, on the other hand, a class needs a few more students. So if you're interested in Illustrator, it's a really good time to sign up for it, or unless they might cancel it. I think I've met 13 students and I need 17, or I met 14 students, I need 17. So I just need a few more students. So if you're interested in that one, even if you can't make all the classes, as you can see, you can watch the recordings when you're done. So let me know and I can give you the CRN to sign into that one. That would be awesome. I haven't checked today.
Anna, my program won't close.
You mean by your program?
The Bridge, I'm on VDI and the program will not close.
Okay, so are you on the top right of you open Bridge, right? You have Bridge in front of you. At the very top right, there's an X. Thank you guys.
Close. It won't close.
Okay, so then why don't you just share your screen and I can see how to help you. Because other than telling you to click on that link. Bye guys, see you on Thursday. Bye Johnny, bye Emma, bye Joyce, and Jenny and Faye. All right, so here you are on VDI. Okay, so you need to wait, stop. Don't click on that. Don't click on that. It's a mess. Go to where that black window, the bridge window. Yeah. So go to the right a little bit more and you'll see an X over there that closes bridge. Yeah.
It
Click
won't
on that.
close.
That's
like
what I'm trying to-
frozen.
because you have this Horizon tab open. Go back to see this left thing that you opened up by going to that tab, go down to it again and go to that middle tab and just a little bit lower down to the little, no, go to the, move your mouse down, and now to the right, a teensy bit to that tab. Yeah.
Oh, I see it, yeah.
There we go.
No,
And now
this,
you can close.
no, this won't close. It won't close. It's frozen.
Really? How
There's
interesting.
another way, like if I weren't on VDI, I would do like a Control-Alt-Delete and try to do a task
You
manager.
can still do Control-Alt-Delete, which still works.
No,
but
it
it's
just
so
goes, it
weird.
goes to, it doesn't go to VDI. It just goes to my own
Oh.
desktop. Yeah, like baffled.
It's interesting. Okay, then just sign out of VDI by using that tab and it'll just close. That's weird. But
My
weird
own
things were happening
desktop.
today. Yeah, so go to that little tab that I just had you close, like that little tab that I said, click on it again. Yeah, and then just go up to student desktop there on the right side, that little 3 lines. Yeah, click on that and log out,
I see, okay,
log off there.
thank you.
Yeah. And then close that tab, VMware Horizon tab on the, yeah. Mhm.
All
Close
right,
that.
thank
And then not that yet. The tab that says VMware Horizon right above you. The tab that X, yeah, that way you cleanly, yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right.
Enjoy your celebration.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jean. I'll see you guys on Thursday.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.